You've probably heard this from other YouTubers the last couple of weeks, but now you're hearing it from Autumn. I was wrong about Pokemon Pokopia. When the game was first announced, I was pretty skeptical. Part of this comes from my recent history with the series. I didn't really connect with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and that had nothing to do with the performance. And even though a lot of people loved Legends Arceus, it never really fully clicked with me either. Why on earth would I want to catch the same Pokemon again and again to fill out a Pokedex? So when Legend CA released, I didn't even bother to pick it up. So when Pokopia was revealed as an Animal Crossing style Pokemon game with daily check-ins and real-time syncs, I wasn't convinced it would work for me and my schedule. Games that expect you to log in every day don't really always fit into real life. And on top of that, there was the whole game keycard situation, which I talked about in a recent short. So yeah, I went into Pokemon Pokopia with pretty low expectations. But after spending a couple of hours with it, I have to admit something I didn't expect. This game has completely won me over. Today, I'm sharing my first impressions of Pokemon Pokopia and why this cozy little Pokemon experiment might actually be one of the most surprising games in the series. Hey friends, I'm Autumn. Welcome back to Cozy Cartridges, your channel where we talk about relaxing games, nostalgic handhelds, and the comforting side of gaming. If you enjoy cozy games, JRPGs, and handheld experiences, grab your favorite snack or drink, get comfy, and let's dive in. Before we get into the game itself, I want to quickly revisit something I talked about in my recent short. Game key cards versus digital releases when you're unsure about a game. The game keycard format has been controversial for many players, and I'll be honest, it made me hesitant about picking up Pokopia at first because, like I said, I wasn't sure I was going to like this game, and I didn't want to be stuck with a $70 digital purchase I'd never touch again. So I went with the game keycard option, in spite of it not being a true physical, because I at least had the option to sell or trade it in. Many of you agreed with me. That said, now that I've started playing Pokopia, I can confidently say I won't be trading this game in anytime soon. The premise of Pokemon Pokopia is surprisingly charming. You play as a Ditto who can transform into a human, exploring a world that's slowly being restored and rebuilt after a mysterious apocalyptic event that has wiped Pokemon and humans from the planet. Instead of battling gyms or chasing badges, your role is more about helping rebuild a peaceful environment where Pokemon can live together and hopefully bring the humans back. As you explore and improve different areas, you begin meeting more and more Pokemon, and each one brings a little personality to the world. And this is something that really stood out to me. The Pokemon in this game feel incredibly expressive and full of personality. They react to the environments you build, interact with objects in you, and bring a lot of life to the spaces you create. In many ways, they feel more lively than the villagers in Animal Crossing New Horizons, which really surprised me. The overall tone of this game is gentle and optimistic. Instead of conflict or competition, the focus is really on community, rebuilding, and creating a space where Pokemon can thrive. The gameplay loop in Pokopia centers around exploration, crafting, and building. Exploration is actually one of the most satisfying parts of the game. As you wander through different areas, you can discover new crafting recipes, unique items, relics, and hints about what happened to make all the Pokemon and humans disappear. It's this sense of uncovering a forgotten world that really drives curiosity and makes every corner of the map feel alive. But what really ties everything together is how the game handles Pokemon habitats and progression. As you explore the world, you're not just gathering materials, you're actively rebuilding habitats for different Pokemon, fulfilling their requests, and gradually improving their overall environment. Each Pokemon has its own needs and preferences, and by completing their quests, you not only make them happier, but also progress the story and unlock new areas. There's also a sense of raising the environmental level of each region, which makes the world feel like it's slowly coming back to life because of your efforts. So instead of a traditional story, progression feels very organic and player driven, which fits the cozy vibe very well. From there, the game opens up into its core systems. You gather materials from the environment, craft furniture or structures, and gradually restore different parts of the world, including said Pokemon habitats. One feature I really appreciate is the presence of building kits. These give players a structured blueprint for creating projects, which is great if you're someone who enjoys decorating but doesn't necessarily want to design everything from scratch or are a little creatively uninclined like yours truly. At the same time, there's still plenty of freedom for players who want to go crazy creating absolute masterpieces. The game also includes bulk crafting, which is something we all know Animal Crossing New Horizons took forever to implement. Being able to craft multiple items at once makes gathering and building much smoother. Another standout feature is the mouse mode for building, which makes placing objects and designing spaces more precise and intuitive. One of my favorite early surprises is the Dream Island mechanic. You can give your Drifloon a doll, and it will fly you to another island where you can gather special resources, find unique Pokemon, and explore areas that aren't immediately accessible in your home world. It's a small but clever twist on resource collection that keeps the gameplay loop feel fresh and exploratory. And perhaps the biggest surprise for me is just how much there is to do here. Some people, including my bestie, have even called this game overwhelming. But the key thing is, there's never really any pressure to do everything at once. You can even delay quests that progress the story and just focus on whatever you feel like doing. Whether you're gathering resources, expanding areas, crafting new items, decorating spaces, interacting with Pokemon, exploring for hidden recipes and relics, or sending Drifloon to Dream Island, there's a constant sense of progress. The game feels busy in a good way, but never overwhelming, and it absolutely oozes charm. While Pokemon Pokopia is incredibly charming and fun, I do have a few suggestions for improvement that can make the experience even smoother. Currently, storage boxes aren't universally connected. When crafting at a station, you need to have materials in your backpack unless the station is directly next to a specific storage box, and you can only pull from that box. Connecting storage more universally can make crafting even easier. Larger builds like a Pokemon Center take real life time to complete. The game isn't overly dependent on real time mechanics like Animal Crossing, thank goodness, and there's plenty to do while you wait, but perhaps a slightly faster or optional instant complete feature for bigger projects could help keep momentum going. Compared to the adorable Pokemon, the humanoid Ditto design isn't my favorite aesthetically. Maybe a few more customization options could help players make Ditto feel just as charming as the Pokemon around them. The game does have a fairly long load time when you first start and when you're moving from area to area, and I feel like that could easily be shortened. Personally, I'd love to see a little bit of combat like in Dragon Quest Builders 2. It could add another layer of engagement for players who enjoy it. That said, I totally recognize that not everyone wants combat in their cozy games, but keeping it optional would let each player tailor their experience to their preferences. Overall, these are minor tweaks rather than serious flaws. Pokopia already feels polished, engaging, and cozy. These small improvements would only make it even more delightful. Overall, I'm honestly surprised by how much Pokemon Pokopia has won me over. I went into this game skeptical, unsure about the concept, unsure about the format, and unsure whether another Pokemon experiment would really click with me. But what I found instead was a game that feels thoughtfully designed for cozy players. There's a satisfying gameplay loop, tons of activities to dive into, and a world that slowly becomes more lively and welcoming the more time you spend in it. The Pokemon themselves bring so much personality to the experience, and the building systems offer a nice balance between structure and creativity. There are areas where the systems could be smoother, but at the end of the day, Pokopia is a game that feels warm, charming, and genuinely relaxing to spend time with. And for someone who started out as a total skeptic, I have to admit, I'm officially a believer. That's it for my first impressions of Pokemon Pokopia. We're gonna wrap this video up so I can get back to playing. But first, I'm curious about your thoughts. Some of you have already responded to my short or TikTok video saying you love it, you're obsessed, you can't put it down. But if you haven't told me yet, let me know down in the comments below. Have you tried the game yet? If so, are you enjoying it? Or are you a skeptic like I was? Do you want to see some more live streams to get a better feel of whether this game might be for you? Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications for weekly cozy gaming content. Until next time, may your habitats be comfy, your materials plentiful, and your adventures full of little Pokemon moments that brighten your day.